So Crystal, we met, gosh, probably 3 years ago in San Diego. You and Michaela were sitting behind Debbie and I, and we spun around and we had a little chat, and rest is history, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is.
Oh my goodness. So, I
Oh,
mean, I remember having many conversations with the two of you. And, what was the biggest problem that the two of you were having at the time?
we didn't know where we needed to be and how to show up. And we didn't have the confidence. I think this is something that's really important about what you teach people is we didn't have enough confidence in ourselves to put it out what we knew about. So at the time, we developed an online on-demand childbirth education course, and we were online doulas, and it was very against the grain at the time. It's now common, and everyone's doing it. But at the time, we didn't know how to show up, and we didn't know where to show up and get our message out there.
And it's not like, you could blame technology because you're a millennial, right?
Right. Exactly. I mean, I knew about Facebook. I knew about Pinterest. I knew about Instagram. I had all those things. And we, of course, created those pages, but we were not using them properly,
Got it.
I would say.
So then, we got together, we talked about a strategy, you guys and invested in us.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? What came out of that?
Well, a lot of things came out of it. It definitely changed our lives. We learned how to tell our stories online, her story, my story, our story as a business. And we started connecting and attracting the right clients who wanted to invest with us. And it was because we added value. I will say that it was not gimmicky. We didn't learn some easy button trick. We learned how to connect authentically with people so that the sales process was shortened. They already, knew us, they liked us, they trusted us because we added value through our content. And by the time we were ready to make a sale, they were ready to commit and purchase with us. So it really was life changing. I mean, we grew a community, not just a page. We had a group and we connected on Instagram, and we wrote blogs because of you. We finally figured out how to streamline everything and not be so overwhelmed. I mean, it really took us from looking at social media and blogging and all these things, video, into, okay, we can repurpose a lot of content and create a lot of great content, but with a shortened time.
Wow. And I know you were brought up in Nevada, and like Vegas is a home turf for you.
Yep.
You then got this hairy, audacious goal of doing something crazy, and you did.
Yes, we did. We ended up hosting an event in Las Vegas that was 150 people over 3 days. And we had to use social media to sell those tickets and get people in the door. And we did. I mean, we went from like two ladies who were stay-at-home moms who had a dream to hosting a live event where we had actually Canadian speakers come speak on our stage, and we had people there, and it was amazing.
And you had some major sponsorship as well, right?
Yes, we had Euphoric Herbals, which is a big, huge, herbal tea company out of Delaware that services like 130 countries. They sponsored us. Hint Water provided all of our refreshments. So we had some big nations, and we learned from you how to put together a pitch deck, and then how to use our content to connect with these people. So, yep.
And and then life happens, this shift.
Yep.
Something happened in your personal life. We don't need to go into that today, but
yeah,
you moved from Seattle to Kentucky, and you and Michaela were different. She ended up in New Zealand and then Italy, and
yeah, she's all over the place. Yeah, we decided,
States, isn't she?
Yeah, I can't even keep up. She's living the dream. So she's married to someone in the Air Force, and we decided to kind of go our separate ways in a good way. And she took on Honest Talk and Honest Birth Talk, and I realized that I love social media and I love what I have learned from you. And I am in the great state of Kentucky now, in Western Kentucky, trying to teach small business owners here a lot of the same, strategies. And it's, again, I segued from this birth doula, but because I learned how to tell my story online through my personal page and through a business page, because I always like you teach us to weave the story on your personal page because you're your personal brand. That means that no matter where you go and what you do, you're still you. And so I've had this beautiful segue from online birth doula to social media person who's building an agency here in Kentucky because I learned how to be a brand, not just a company.
And the name of the agency is?
Rockstar Social Media.
Of course it is.
It came from you.
So. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So you have 4 children.
Yes.
A lot of stuff going on in the background. But I got to tell you, I love your social media. I don't know how legal it is that the little girl was driving the farm vehicle the other day.
Yeah, it probably wasn't, but we were not on a road. We were in a field. So
you just, I just love following your journey, and I know not all of it's been easy, and some days you just need to vent to personal friends about some stuff that's going on. But I think you've created a support community, because I see the comments that plow straight back in to support you and lift you up. And I know the entrepreneur journey is like this, but man,
it is. And I think a lot of it is a lot of people pull back from sharing, personal stuff because we don't want to be judged or we don't want to be that. But if I've learned anything from you, it is that you have to show up as who you are online. Otherwise, you're not going to have the right people around you. And so, yeah, sometimes, you don't want to beat the dead horse or share very personal, terrible things. But I think there's a way to always lift others up through your own struggle. And that's how I've built my brand. A lot of it is just in sharing the real life, my life. And because there's strength in people, my mountain is someone else's mountain too, probably. And so seeing me go over it gives them the hope. And that's what keeps me going, is just the messages that I get that are like, thanks for sharing.
And Crystal has my cell phone number, and I get a text that's like, can we talk? And you're running your own agency, and situations come up that I probably experienced, and we brainstormed and stick handled and fired it right back, and you're doing awesome.
No, thank you. I owe it all to you.
Oh, you did a lot of work yourself. So last question for you. If you knew now what you should have known then, what would you have done something different?
Yeah, I would have stopped finding the easy buttons and the gimmicks. I can't tell you how much money Mikayla and I spent on gimmicks. We caught these webinars online that were not genuine. It was like a easy button fix instead of someone really walking you through how to use a program or how to build a brand. It was just like a very rigid, carbon copy sort of thing. And they were like $200 and $800. I mean, we bought them all, 27 to whatever amount. But then when we met you and we talked to you and then we joined the boot camp and we did full on with you, it was like, God, if we just started here, we would be so much farther, because all of those very specific, it worked for me, and, follow this exact rigid thing and you're going to make $1 million. They're just gimmicks, and they're easy buttons that aren't easy button fixes. So if I could go back, I think obviously I would just be like, you should have gone with the person and the coaching and that authenticity. Cause I just love how honest you are. Everybody's business is different. There's not one fix all thing, but it's a combination, and you have to be able to build that brand that's going to take the long haul. You can't be short-sighted. That's what,
Well, I have this huge respect for you and your family, and thank you for joining us today and just giving us a little bit of insight and time about
absolutely.
And then Rockstar Media. Way to go, you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Somebody's saying we've all been duped by easy buttons, and Kentucky equals South Africa, riding a tractor on the field, and yeah. You've inspired a lot of people. I'm looking at the comments already. Thank you, Crystal. And
you're welcome.
Keep up the great hair, girl.
All right, I will. Thank you.